1, 2, 3. Well, welcome to the Gabbin' in the Games, folks. How are you guys doing? Good to see everybody. I appreciate you being here on this bright, bombastic, bountiful Tuesday afternoon. I don't know why, that was Huey Lewis in the news, though, of course, Jacob's Ladder. You have to understand, when you are a kid who grows up in a place like Birmingham, Alabama, which is where I grew up, loved it, nothing but love, but you don't get much press. You don't get much play. You know what I'm saying? And when Huey Lewis, in that song, he says, I met a fan dancer down in south side of Birmingham. And that was a place a bunch of high school kids, including me from time to time, would go hang out in. And it was like, oh my God, Huey Lewis noticed us. But I was and remain a big Huey Lewis fan. I don't think the man can speak much anymore. I think his voice is gone or his hearing's gone or something like that. But, that's the shit, man. I dig that music. I really, really do. Welcome to the show, my good friends. Brett Moore says there's a documentary about the Brat Pack on Hulu right now. It's depressing as fuck. It is a depressing as fuck documentary. If you don't know what he's talking about, Andrew McCarthy, one of the Brat Pack, probably one of the... I mean, they've all been successful compared to most people in terms of the money they've made and the influence they've had, but... McCarthy probably, certainly nowhere near Rob Lowe or even Emilio Estevez, certainly not Demi Moore. And this whole documentary is him driving around the country, flying around, interviewing his fellow, 80s movie stars in the Brat Pack. And just like going, didn't it ruin your life when the guy, the reporter who coined the term Brat Pack? And most of them were like, no. I mean, he really, really carried this with him up until the day he finished shooting the documentary. It's not a fun documentary. I thought it was going to be a great deal of fun, but it's actually quite depressing and sad to see that this is really fucked with the dude. So, oh my God, there's a zoom in the background. Who knows what's going on? Dr. Dinglenut says getting old blows. I don't know if I agree with that, man. It certainly, as I've always said, beats the alternative. But beyond that, I mean... here's the deal. We will get to a point in the next 100 years where you won't have the physicality issues of getting old. But you certainly don't want to trade the wisdom and the knowledge and the experience. At least I sure don't. I can't fathom why that would be fun for people. But there's less energy you have. And no matter what your drive is, it's not what it was. That ambition to fucking, as Steve Jobs said, put a dent in the universe, that kind of isn't there anymore. And I hate that because that was so much fun when you really woke up and you felt like you could fucking change everything, even though you knew you couldn't. And it's not that you don't have any of that left, but you don't have what you used to have, and that sucks. I'm with you on that part. Bobo says, Jaffe, why does your whole body hurt when you get old? I don't know. Maybe the better you spell. I don't mean to be a dick. Yes, I do. That sentence is so filled with grammatical and spelling errors. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Awesome Tatum says, I wish I had my brain in a 21-year-old body. Right. We're getting there. It ain't going to take that long. Hello over on the Twitch. By the way, we are on Twitter. We are on Twitch where we have Pale Mail and Soak 7 Plays hanging out over there. And we are, of course, on our home here on YouTube. It is good to see you guys. It is good to be here with you. We have some news to talk about today in the world of video games. We will get to it. I will bring in calls if they make sense on the Discord. We just had a guy in there, but, come in later if you want to talk on the show. But for now, I want to get, started with what is happening in the world of the news and the video games. But first, I'll go to the chat. Bobo says, Jaffe, why the more you get older, the more your sexual desire increases? I have not found that. I have found it decreases. I don't think... I think if it decreases to a point that it is dangerous, like you have very low T, that could be a sign of something bad, like regardless of your sex drive. But I certainly think it is a very normal... thing that as people get older, most people's sex drive decreases. Dustin Hadid, thank you, buddy. He dropped super chat. He says, happy Tuesday, Papa Jaffe. I love the new backdrop. Thank you, sir. I made it myself. That's a total lie, but still, happy Tuesday back, and thank you for the support. Okay. Albania says it's time for $50 games again. Dead Rising looks very crisp at 59. Is that what it is? Is it only $50? That's even better news. I'm looking forward to talking about that a little bit later in the day, or in the show, I should say. That's not what a cat penis looks like. All right, let us begin, my good friends. Let me bring up the news that I've got. Let me ask you a question first, though, because I know that the ads or I know that the various tweets that you get served up on Twitter, that's not what I wanted, are different for everybody, I think. But am I the only one getting this constantly on Twitter, if you guys are even on Twitter? The World Transformation Movement. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It's 3 minutes. I'm going to play like 40 seconds. And I'm not watching this. This is so fucking obnoxious. I have not seen an ad this ubiquitously obnoxious since that whole ad about the Sound and the Fury movie about the child trafficking. I haven't seen the movie, and I'm not saying it's a good movie, bad movie, great. I have no idea what it is. Never went and saw it. But good God almighty. Okay, so none of you guys have seen this. Yeah, I see this all the fucking time. Okay, then I'm not even going to play it then. Don't worry about it. Let's just say it's bizarre. It's like, fuck it. I'm going to play the first 30 seconds because I haven't seen hyperbole like this, since I was flirting with Darth Nugget's mom last night, and I told her she was beautiful just to get her in the bed. Here we go. Watch this.
Is a flawless explanation of us humans. Absolutely everyone needs to listen to this interview.
What's really needed is someone to finally make sense of human seemingly mad behavior, which is actually what biologist Jeremy Griffith has done in this incredible interview.
This interview left me speechless. It's bigger than natural selection and the theory of relativity.
I'm completely shocked after watching this interview to see a scientist finally explain the human condition and fix the world. It's utterly astonishing.
I would like to be...
I just want to be clear. This is bigger than the theory of relativity. I've never heard of it before. I guess I have to click on this fucking ad. Go fuck yourself. I'm just saying, I guess I'm not the only one seeing it, or I am the only one seeing it, so maybe they think I'm the target for this. I'm only the target for it in that, yeah, I'll talk about it on the show, but I'll fucking make fun of it. That's for goddamn sure. What is it about? I don't fucking know. I guess there's some interview somebody did, and all these people are just talking. It's just stupid. It's just I hate crap like this. I just find it so insulting. What are they selling? I don't know. It kind of reminds me when remember The Secret was out? Hell, let's go to it. Let's see what this fucking thing is. The breakthrough biological explanation of the human condition. World transfer. People just always trying to sell you something. Just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. If you got something to say, tell me. You gotta get the books and the essays and fuck you. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. All right. Waiting for it to cut to Jaffe. Yeah, exactly, Family Guy Dog. Absolutely. Hey, this really made my life better. Look, if there's something out there that will make your life better, I'll let you know if I find it. But so far, they did find water under Mars, liquid water. You saw that? We're going to get to the news, but that's pretty big news that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. We're going to talk about Halloween, of course. Scientists find evidence of oceans of liquid water deep below Mars' surface. I always worry about these, the way it's worded, but it says they discovered that liquid water exists. So it's not like we found evidence of the chemical makeup of water and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it says we discovered it exists. Liquid water could have important implications of science to study the habitability of the planet. But could also there could be things living under there. You don't know. That's what they're saying. That's what they're fucking. It's not from IGN, but IGN covers kind of big science stories. But it's not. No. This was all over the place today. That their rover dug into the crust, and now they can't get to it. It's like 20 feet, or no, it's more than that. It's really deep down. But because we know Mars was covered with water, like oceans. And there was always assumption that most of it evaporated up into the sky and went away, but they're like a lot of it must have gone underground. And so if there ever was life there, or is still life there, maybe we'd find it there. It'd be kind of cool. That's interesting. I would too. Well, if I was on Mars, but if somebody brought it back, Necro says I'd drink it. Could be the fountain of youth or my demise. I crave adventure. If somebody brought it back and said, dude, this is not a scam. This is the fucking, this is Mars water. And, you know, you can drink it if you want. Even if it is Mars water, it's not going to give you superpowers. But I don't know. Maybe I'd drink it. I don't fucking know. Red says we already knew about frozen water, right, and how warming the planet could bring it back to life, but it would be hard because it's further from the sun. Right, there is plenty of evidence of frozen water on the surface of Mars, I believe, aka ice. Right, that we've seen evidence of, but they're saying there is now liquid water under the surface, which is pretty cool. Brady Moore for 29 months, Cult Calypso. Thank you, good sir. You know I appreciate that. He says on a happier note, I guess compared to the previous story, not this story. I just saw Final Fantasy VII Orchestra live in concert. Really good show. My first video game concert. Excellent. Excellent. And I would assume, there was a screen and they were showing footage from the games and things like that. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I got to be honest. I'm not a big FF fan. I don't dislike it, but I don't play them enough to know much of the music. So I would be sitting there going, it's beautiful, but I don't connect with it. Whereas like if I went and saw, Nintendo music like Zelda, Mario, all that, the obvious stuff. But that's great. I'm glad you had a good time. Was it crowded? Was it like a sold out audience? Awesome Tatum says, speaking of Twitter and important stories, I want the Alien Romulus popcorn bucket. It does look cool. It does look cool. Alien popcorn bucket. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of neat. I don't know how it glows though. Is there like a battery thing? Like you open this lid here and you dip your big fat hand in there and you're off to the races. And then you've got the face hugger on the outside. But I would assume it's like battery powered. But, there's some pretty cool popcorn buckets. But, what are they, like $40 by the time you get the popcorn in there? No, fuck yourself. I'm not doing it. Rocker Matt, thank you, buddy. 26 months as well. The Cult of Calypso. I don't know why you guys can't be like your brother Rocker Matt and join the Cult of Calypso or the Diet Soda Soldiers. Even you fucking freeloaders over on the Twitch. Give me your Twitch Prime subscription. It won't cost you anything, you morons. The point is, it's a popcorn bucket. What? He says, glad to continue to support one of my favorite game dev streamers. Thank you, buddy. Jaffe, have you been approached for Twisted Metal Season 2? Have you consulted at all? Do you have any information? I'll give you an answer. One sec. Hi, I'm streaming. Are you good? I'll call you after. Bye. Okay, well, here's what I'll tell you. I've not been approached. They mentioned they would reach out to me, and then I heard from Jeff Keighley actually was asking me, and I think he was on the set with Assad, who runs PlayStation Productions, and he was like, he asked me, and then he said, "Oh, I told Assad. Assad said he'll reach out." But I don't know. It's so far. If they're shooting back in Louisiana, that means I have to go fucking back to Louisiana. I don't want to fly, but I don't know. Maybe, you never know. Maybe if they call me and say, "Hey, Jaffe, would you maybe do a voice?" Right? Maybe do that. I'd say, okay, cool. I can do that. But again, it doesn't mean that much. I mean, it means a lot to me that they're making it. And I loved the first season. I'm not like, oh, fuck it. Who gives a shit? I just don't really care about Cammy. I'm just like, it'd be cool if it's easy, but whatever. They do not consult me though. I had a couple of calls with them at the very, very beginning, and then we, talk every now and then, but not in any meaningful way. I'm not involved at all. Did I have any information on the canceled game? I have talked to a couple of people who worked on the canceled Twisted Metal game. And they're like, we want to come out and tell people what's going on. And then afterwards, we're willing to kind of spill some beans for you, Jaffe. But we don't want to give it to you first because we want to be the ones that kind of come out with it. So I am talking to a few of them, but they haven't really said anything to me about it, is what I would say. Toby Moss says, is this how the movies make money now, selling $40 popcorn? Well, I mean, that's how the theaters do. I don't imagine that this makes, I guess they have to license it from Fox or Disney, the Alien popcorn bucket, concept. Hello, Henry. But I don't know how much of that actually goes back. The theaters are, it's kind of I don't know. I mean, I like the movies, and the movies are kind of doing okay this summer. There's some big hits this summer, but I don't really feel the need to go out to the movies anymore like I used to. I used to love going to the movies, but it's not really happening for me anymore. I'd rather just watch stuff at home. So, Henry, you can ask me any question you like. I may not answer it, or I may not see it, but you can try. Dr. Dinglenut says they're just trying to give people a reason to go to the theater. If this is the reason to go to the theater, they've got a lot of work to do. Their shit's too expensive. The tickets cost too much money. It's kind of a pain in the ass compared to what you get at home. So, you know, I mean, but not for everybody. People still love it. I have zero faith in the new Alien movie, says Desert Cruiser. I hear it's pretty good. People who have seen it say it's pretty good, actually. So, okay, let's move into some gaming news, shall we? That's why we're all here. We're all here for the news of the day with the gaming. Jaffe, the rumors of Sony working on a PS3 backwards compatibility are true. Do you think TM 2012 could see a resurgence? Holy cow, man. I don't have the intelligence and education and experience to speak to the work that would have to go into making the online component work, which is the only reason you would ever really want to see that game get a resurgence. So whether you're talking about the matchmaking or the stats recording or any of the stuff that we were handshaking with Sony servers on, I don't know if it's an easy one size fits all thing. So I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue, but I think it'd be cool. Okay. All right. Developers reportedly told not to expect Switch 2 to launch before April 2025. Here's my question. Do you really care? And I'm a Nintendo fan, right? I saw the new Zelda Echoes, whatever it's called, trailer the other day, and they showed off how the new mechanics are being used. I thought that looks awesome. I'm very excited for it. But I don't really care about new hardware. And I don't know. I don't really care about the PS Pro either. I think I only care about it as it relates to if my current console can't run it well. So certainly if GTA 6 comes out and the PS Pro is leaps and bounds above what I can get on my normal PS5, then sure, okay, it makes a lot of sense unless the PC one's coming very, very soon. But short of that, or short of some kind of real innovation that changes the way you game, I don't know. It just kind of feels, maybe it's just me, you tell me, but does it not feel like even though I know it's been about the right amount of time for these new pieces of hardware, does it not feel like nobody really needs them? It's like Fuzznuts in the chat says there's enough to play. I'm totally fine with Switch 2 being delayed, right? There's so much fucking shit to play. And the games that have been coming out the last, 24 months have been so good that I'm like, you got to blow my fucking mind to get me excited. Like, I'm more excited if somebody, I know this might be blasphemous, but if somebody were to say to me, Jaffe, you could wake up tomorrow and you could play the Switch 2, which let's just say it's a graphical upgrade and that's about it. Better resolution, better screen, with a couple of new games that are very similar to what you've played before. Or you could play the newly announced, which we'll talk about in a minute, Halloween Pixel game from Way Forward. I would go, I want to play the Halloween Pixel game. But I don't know, man. I don't know if that's just me or not. In the chat, Lewis Lau says, can you do the benchmark test launched by Game Science for Black Myth? I could, but my understanding, and this may be one of the reasons that I don't really care that much about new hardware anymore, is that I get new hardware all the time through GeForce Now. My understanding is that Black Myth Wukong, which comes out, in 6 days, next week, is going to be playable, and I didn't know this, it's going to be on GeForce Now, which means I'm going to have the settings cranked all the way up to the top. I'm not going to worry about anything. I'm not going to worry about CPU or heating fan or any of that shit. I'm super fucking in. But so I know, but if you do have a PC and you're considering Black Myth, Lewis, yes. The developer did just launch a benchmark test to see if your computer will be able to handle it. But I have every intention to play it on the GeForce Now. Cantankerous Game says, I'm still waiting for Series X to have a title that feels next gen. I mean, I don't even know what that means anymore, right? I mean, what is, next gen, the last game I played that I was like, okay, this is different. I thought it would be transformative, but it's not, which was like the first batch of, was VR, but VR didn't really change the game. After you got used to it and you got over it, the game was still the same thing. So, next gen, I mean, what does that even mean? What does that even fucking mean? You want to be wowed, says Cantankerous. It hasn't happened. You just mean by the graphics is what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I don't fucking know, man. I can't think. I'm trying to think. Is there when I saw the Black Myth trailer that I responded to on this very channel a couple of days ago, I was certainly wowed by it. I was like, holy shit, that looks amazing. And I guess I was looking at that on PC. I think Forza Horizon looks amazing on the Series X. I'm a little bummed about Stalker 2, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well, because I have Game Pass, and unfortunately, Game Pass PC, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. If I have Game Pass Ultimate, which I do, I would usually just stream it on GeForce. But if you stream it on GeForce, you're just going to get the Xbox Series X server. But I guess if you download it on Steam, but it's or on the Microsoft Store or whatever, it's still part of your Xbox Game Pass subscription, but you have the PC version. So I have seen a lot of visuals from that do look pretty good. But I think maybe it's an age thing. Like, Prince Green says, at least from a graphics perspective, that would be Hellblade 2, talking about the truly next gen on Xbox. But from gameplay, the most next gen game I have played has been Hades and Half-Life Alyx. So, I mean, Hellblade 2, when I say I think it's an age thing, I think when you live enough and you have enough road in the rear view to go, I grew up with things looking like a dot for adventure on Atari, and now they look like they look today. I'm sold, it's like I'm sure that there will be continued visual benchmarks, but you can only have that, oh my fucking God, a couple of times and you're done. Only GTA, says Albania, will show the big leap. I don't agree with that. I think GTA, because it's a massive open world game with tons of fidelity, tons of detail, I think it's not going to be a graphical show horse. They never are, at all. I remember I don't know if you guys remember, or some of you guys weren't even alive, but the very first Grand Theft Auto 3 looked like shit. It was an ugly fucking game, but it was so transformative, nobody cared. Oh, now, there you go. Okay, first 48 Gamer, that is a great point. Cyberpunk, okay, yes, Cyberpunk looks way better than Hellblade 2. I don't know where you have to go. Like, I know these are mods, but if you don't know what he's talking about, I'm not going to show you a big video, but you are goddamn right on that. Look at this. I used to love her so much. I still do. What's her name? The goddamn Keira Knightley? Cyberpunk 2077 visuals mods. I mean, these visuals are just like, who was I was watching some really well-known YouTuber recently that was doing this, going through these, and I was just like, are you fucking shitting me? Like, I was like, I know that everybody is like simulation theory, blah, 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 but we're in a fucking simulation theory. Or not a theory. We're in a theory. We're in a simulation because look at this. Look at this goddamn thing and tell me that in 50 years, 100 years. Oh, I know they've done it through GTA 5, but that wasn't Rockstar 1 Minute Gamer. I'm just saying that this is possible in real time, right? The fact we are living in a fucking computer simulation because if in 100 years, what is this going to be, right? My goodness gracious. So, I mean, yeah, so this blows my mind. But again, what's cool about it is after, 10 minutes, the game's the game. And if it's good, it's good. And if it's not, I'd rather be playing something that's genuinely fun. But yeah, it's impressive. Let's see if there's nighttime. Look at amazing. Incredible. Where's nighttime? Come on now. Would you save it to the end? Give me some nights. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. You can find it. 100 years we'll probably have Neuralink connected. Yeah, probably. But that's what I'm saying, though. The fact that we are able to do this now, and it was only 40, 45 years ago where graphics looked, you know what they looked like? I was there, baby, and I got excited for them. We got super fucking excited for, Adventure 2600, man. This is what we got excited for. And I'm not saying that like, you're old. Yeah, I know I'm old. Fuck you. That's not the point. The point is that that's how far we've come in that amount of time. Right? And so think about that for a goddamn moment. Insane. Absolutely insane. So it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. Yes, Denova says tech is advancing at a crazy pace. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Okay. Where am I going? I was going to look at this for a second. Jaffe, maybe your kids will see the goods. Yeah, my kids will. Absolutely. Okay. All right, let's focus. Let's move forward, shall we? So that's what's going on with the Switch. I don't really give a fuck about the Switch. I don't really care one way or another. Go fuck yourself, you stupid motherfucker. You know what, though? Coming up, what is it, next week? Next week is August 20th. What are we? We're 7 days away. A week from tonight or today, I'll be streaming this live at whatever California time, 11 a.m. I'll be streaming this. Keeley has come out and he has said that you can see here, you're going to get new stuff. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, big deal. I'm excited for that game, but it's like, okay, I'm already excited. Leave me alone. Marvel Rivals, cool. Probably new characters and levels. They might even announce a launch date. Monster Hunter Wilds, Dune Awakening, I'm excited for that. Civ, 7? And then, of course, we're going to see a lot more Indiana Jones, it sounds like. So I'm super excited, but he has confirmed there's also going to be new games as well. Dune Awakening could be cool, says Fuzznuts, if they execute it right. Yeah, 100%. And Dune Awakening is cool because I think it's a Game Pass game. So it's one of those things that if, it doesn't cost you anything to try it, except your subscription. But this is the Dune MMO, right? And it looks pretty fucking cool, man. If you're into the Dune, let me see if I can put the trailer on the background while we're chatting. Where's the most recent? I just want to see gameplay. I don't give a fuck about all your bullshit. I don't care about your behind the scenes. Show me your fucking... I still need to see Dune 2. I've read the books and everything. But yeah, Kyle, we need a release date for Indiana Jones, of course. And I'm sure we'll get it. But they have confirmed we will see more Indiana Jones. So that's pretty cool. Awesome Tatum says Call of Duty will be a day one purchase for me this year. That's rare for me. I'm not going to purchase it, but I'll have it on Game Pass. I am super excited for it. I did hear, and I think I want to say I heard this on Iron Lord's podcast this weekend. I did hear them saying, and I don't know if this is confirmed or this is a rumor. Maybe you guys know, but that Microsoft, because of the acquisition deal, is not allowed to heavily promote Game Pass and heavily promote Call of Duty on Game Pass. I mean, like that's part of the deal. I haven't heard that, but I did hear that rumor, which would really suck for those guys because that's really what they need to finally do to start pushing that fucking thing. You're really hoping they show more than 20 seconds of gameplay for Indy, says Carlos. Yeah, I mean, the last Indiana Jones trailer, if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, was great. But, you know, if you've never heard of Indiana Jones, or if you've heard of him, but you've heard of him in the way that, you know, a lot of people who came up were just kind of like, you know, like if you're, when I was a kid, I had heard of the French Connection, but none of us were running around playing as whatever, Popeye O'Doyle or something. Indy's not been relevant for a very long time. So if you just base the trailer off of that, it looked very benign. It just was like, eh. So I do hope we actually see something that makes us go, okay, this is genuinely a great game outside of the brand, basically. Snotrag says, I think he's asking if he thinks I'm not impressed with Phantom Blade Zero. I think Phantom Blade Zero looks amazing. If I remember the trailer, that was one of the best trailers I've seen, but I don't know if that is going to be shown at Gamescom opening night. It might be. We'll see. Yeah, new game announcements though is what they're saying. So hopefully, I don't know if there'll be surprises or just like, oh yeah, we knew that was in development. We finally get to see it. Like, I mean, what would blow your mind, of course, would be, you know, Sony Santa Monica's new game, or what's it called? The Tsushima 2. But they're Sony, they do that every now and then, but I don't think you're going to be seeing that caliber brand new games. I don't think we're going to be seeing that shit at all. That's not, you know, I mean, has Gamescom opening night live ever produced, they may have, but I don't really fucking remember, ever produced that kind of big moment, for a first party game. I don't think so. Thank you, Henry. I appreciate it. Very kind of you. He's a fan of God of War on behalf of all of the team who made it. I appreciate it on their behalf and mine. Thanks, buddy. Thank you for that support. Carlos says a release date for Horizon Lego would be nice, or just a surprise fucking shadow drop. I'll tell you something. That's a game. And I think Horizon's one of the most, probably the, you know, you talk about, you know, Cantankerous saying I haven't seen a next gen experience on Xbox, but you can't deny Horizon Forbidden West is, I mean, I can maybe think of one game that might be prettier, but that's it. It's one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful console games I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And, but I still don't like the series. I can't stand it. But I am excited for Lego because the trailer, it just looked fucking fun. It just looked like a lot of goddamn fun. And so I'm totally in, man. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Toby Moss says Horizon got binned after 2 hours in our house. Yeah, I was bored out of my mind, man. I was absolutely bored out of my mind. Yeah, we could be seeing more from Death Stranding 2, but I don't know, man. I mean, I know it's a cult hit. I saw Gene Park tweeting about it today, like I'm playing it again. It's one of his favorite games. But I don't know. I just... The time it would take for me to go back in and play. You know what I wish Kojima would do with his games? I know this is stupid. It's a tangent. I apologize. But, you know, back in the day, and I'm not saying you guys want this. I'm saying I want it. So just settle the fuck down. It's my name on the building, pal. There's a building, Jaffe? Just shut up. My God.
Daddy, chill.
Yeah, I would love for them to put Lego release date and Astrobot as well. But what I was saying, though, is back in the day, in Charles Dickens' day, shut up, Jaffe, you pompous ass. Fuck you. You know, he released all of his, the way it worked is he released his novels serialized in magazines, and then they were compiled. You know, if Kojima put out, even now, even after they've released it, just, and I know you could say, well, Jaffe, just play it that way on your own, but it's like, games are too long now for the most part, and there's too much to play. I just can't fathom sinking all that time into playing Death Stranding 1 and finishing it, and then getting ready for Death Stranding 2. Just give me like a little, you know, give me like an airplane mode version. That doesn't make sense. You know, give me an edited 40. If you take 2 hours of the best stuff, make some new connective tissue, and release it for $25 and just call it whatever you want to call it. Because I do think there's genius in that game. But I just, Prince Green says Death Stranding's the most tedious game I've ever played, just as bad as Metal Gear 5. I love Kojima's older games. He's overrated game director. He may very well be in some ways. I do like him. I respect him. I'm always interested in what he's doing, but my good God. Yeah, PK says they already released a director's cut. I mean a cut for people who, only live to about 81 years old is the average lifetime. And so we may not live to ever fucking play the whole thing. It's just too long. It's too long and ponderous. Arath Izzle says the point of Death Stranding would be lost if you made it for ADD people. It's not for ADD people. It's for people who basically are, the games better fucking wake up, frankly, because the competition it's fucking fierce now. And the amount of content, unless there is a crash coming, if this cadence continues of great releases, I'm avoiding games now not for no reason other than I'm like, it looks great. I'm sure I'll love it, but I don't have the time to play it. I don't have the time to play it. Yeah, but see, that's not the thing. 1 Minute Gamer says Kojima games are high IQ games. It's okay for it not to be for everyone. What I played of it, which was about 2.5, 3 hours, I loved. It's not that I couldn't get into it. It's just too fucking long. It's too fucking long. The crash is already happening, says 1 Minute Gamer in AAA games. I don't think we're seeing that yet. I mean, I think it depends on how you define crash. I think you still have these publishers that are making profits, and they're cutting people, but not because, oh shit, we lost a ton of money last quarter. I mean, they're still doing really, really well. Okay. All right. Let us ease on down the road. I do want to say, let me look at Phantom Blade Zero real quick, because you guys are saying Phantom Blade, you're saying that is a 2026 game, which is unfortunate, because boy, I'll tell you, while we're talking, I'll just put that on in the background, but that's a hell of a trailer. And I don't even know what the fuck it is at this point. All these fucking games are starting to look alike, all these sort of Souls wannabe bullshit things, but it is fucking beautiful. It is fucking beautiful. That's true. Okay. No. Okay. Yeah, there it is. We'll let it run while we're talking. Wave 21 over on Twitch says he wants a new Virtua Fighter. I mean, I don't know. What does that even look like in this day and age? So much of Virtua Fighter is used to be the art style where it looked like, kind of flat shaded. That was its whole shtick. I know it was more than that. It was different fighting styles, blah, blah, blah. But in terms of sort of, I don't know how you would satisfy people with a new Virtua Fighter. Unless you said it was something like, look, it's not meant to be a graphics showcase. It's meant to be one of the deepest, most interesting, nuanced fighters ever. And we know that there's not a massive audience for that. And so we didn't spend a lot of money. But boy, we went fucking deep with this. So if you're into the fucking fighting genre, you'll love it. That I could see being valid. But interesting, Samium says there is a new VF fighter rumored with an anime art style. Well, I'd love to see it. Brett Moore says he thinks that Tekken 8 Virtua Fighter's lunch. Yeah, I mean, it certainly has stepped in, and nobody seems to miss Virtua Fighter except the old school hardcore for sure. Okay. Anyway, there you go. There's Phantom Blade. It's another one of these fucking things. I mean, isn't there a point where this is getting to the point? This is starting to feel like the very first CES I went to was, we had Mickey Mania there, I think, but I know Donkey Kong Country was there. And it was the absolute height of every goddamn publisher releasing a little mascot jump and bump on the enemy's head games. And that's what this is starting to feel like. The kind of, everybody's making a fucking hard as nails melee combat thing with really cool, fantasy meets Asian influence. And it's cool, but I'm getting kind of tired of it, man. I'm getting kind of sick of it. Okay. Let's move forward. Let's move on down the road. He's on down the road. Look at this. Capcom speaks on the decision not to include point-earning erotica photos in Dead Rising Remake. They say it's not a response to a changing cultural climate. Well, it should be. If you don't know what they're talking about, and we'll watch a preview of this a little bit later in the show. If you don't know what they're talking about, you're playing this Frank West fella. He's got a camera, and besides the game itself, you can aim the camera at scenarios, a zombie being killed in a fun way, or like 3 or 4 categories. And then the originals, it used to be that if you could get panty shots and cleavage shots and shit of these ladies, you would get other things. It would be like a separate category. And they're like, yeah, that's not in the new game. And apparently they're saying that it's got nothing to do with cultural climate change. Now, I think it should. I don't think it has a place in a game like this. I have absolutely no problem with it in a game, but in a big mainstream game from a publisher like Capcom, it feels pretty fucking creepy. It feels pretty fucking creepy. If Capcom's removing, says, it's Spasbo. He says, if Capcom is removing the erotic camera shots, then how are you supposed to fight the Kent psychopath boss? I don't know. Let's find out. I haven't played it. I never played the first one. Let's see. Let's give him the reason why. Here's the statement. When developing the game, we tried our best to create a game that would please returning core fans and appeal to new players. As the development progressed, we inevitably discovered we couldn't include everything from the original. In the case of erotic point system, that was something we discussed at length, and we removed it, not as a response so much to changing cultural climates, but because we felt there was no need to have a reward point system on this basis. Same thing. Additionally, when considering Frank's situation, it is not appropriate reward for survival and not a skill required of a journalist trying to stay alive for 72 hours during a zombie apocalypse. However, players will still have the right to choose their picture subjects freely, and even though they won't receive points, it's up to them to decide what photos they will take to represent their journey. So points are still present. You just don't get any. This is coming from VG247. If you're doing the erotica stuff. For those unaware, the original Frank and Trigger won several photo categories: brutality, drama, outtake, horror, and erotica. This is true for the original and the remaster. The categories are attached to each photo based on content. So a snapshot of a zombie's head exploding goes into brutality, while a beautiful moment of humanity between 2 survivors triggers drama. You lose one of these categories with erotica's genre going away. With its removal, so goes any in-game encouragement for players to take the shots, although you can if you want. The reason for the inclusion of morally bankrupt photography in Dead Rising goes beyond a fun side activity, they say. Because now, I didn't play the first one, so let's read this together. Maybe Spasbo, I don't know about the boss, but it's a commentary on the dehumanizing nature of Frank's brand of tabloid photo hunting, separating you from the horrid nature of your actions through a point system. In the search for high-scoring pictures, you as the player often gave little thought to the nasty stuff you're taking pictures of, including the erotic stuff. I don't know if that's nasty. This is the crux of the major criticisms of the erotica's removal, that it lessens the hard-hitting punch of this feature and what it means for the game's themes. Now, that's interesting. Now, that is very interesting. Because I haven't played the original. So, but let me make sure I understand what they're saying. It exists, at least it can be read as existing, because it's a commentary on tabloid journalism, separating you from the horrid nature of your actions. Okay, as in, like, if you take these, you get points, and so it's justified, whereas otherwise you're just a creep. Is that the idea? In the search for high-scoring pictures, you often gave little thought to the nasty stuff or to the offensive stuff or whatever. And that is a major criticism, they said, of the erotica's removal. It lessens the hard-hitting punch of this feature. I mean, okay. Then again, they say the message still exists even with the erotica category gone. The first minutes of the game feature a segment where Frank flies in by copter, snapping shots of horrific scenes, acting much like a vulture. Okay. I mean, look, here's what I'll tell you, though. Here's what I'll tell you. Again, I need to play it. I don't have any experience with this. It's coming out in basically a month, and I will be playing it day one. I'm excited because I never played the first one, and I always heard people talking about it. But I will say that there is something that I do think is cool about the ability for a feature like this to actually make a statement. And I would hate to see that go away, but to be perfectly fair though, this isn't really that kind of game, right? I mean, I'm not saying that only certain kinds of games can have a message, but you know, if you're going to die on a hill, better to die on a hill where you can justify and most people actually get that message versus this where it's like, look, if you can go around and take pictures of creep shots and get points for them, you know, it doesn't have a place in a mainstream. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I'm not offended by it. I'm not saying it doesn't have a place in the art form or the medium, but it doesn't have a place in a mainstream video game like this unless that video game goes out of its way to even subtly hint at the messaging. And it's like, look, this guy's a creep. You're playing a fucking creep, dude. And that's interesting. But if it just presents as a fun zombie romp and you get points for taking shots of women's panties, I don't know. It seems a little bit weird to me. Jason WB says it's like remaking Grand Theft Auto games, but leaving original content out. It won't be as bad as the GTA Definitive, though. Yeah, I mean, again, Grand Theft does a much better job of making it clear, whether it's good satire or not, that it's trying to say something, God knows what. But I agree. Brett Moore says, don't the devs have the right to change their minds and control the product? Of course. Yeah, I mean, they have a right to do whatever the fuck they want. And Capcom's paying for it. They own it. You know, they absolutely have the right to do that. I would defend that, of course. Wouldn't including it today be more relevant than it would have been during the original? Today, everyone videos or snaps pics of everything. Yeah. I'm not opposed to the idea of the message, but the message needs to be a bit more presented. And I'm not opposed to it being in the game. They have a right to do it. But I certainly think if I was running Capcom and I was investing a lot of money trying to relaunch a brand, I probably would go, it's probably not worth the headache that we get compared to the money that we'll make by not making something that can hit us with a PR nightmare, basically. So, you know. Well, Cantankerous says it's not the devs controlling the product, it's a corporate decision. Well, it's always a corporate decision. It's never, I mean, corporations will always step in when they see anybody with making their products in a way that they think is going to hurt their bottom line. But again, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying I'm opposed to it. I think games should be able to cover whatever the fuck they want to cover. But I get when you're a company like Capcom, you know, it's not like you're releasing The Last of Us and it's like, look, this is a serious story, you know, and we go out of our way to make it clear that at least from our point of view as developers, we think this is a reflection of sort of the worst of capitalism where people are willing to do anything to anybody else just to get paid. None of that seems reflected from what I understand in this game. And so it just is, for most people, 95% of the people, well, no, Vitaphone, you can say that. Vitaphone says it is presented. I have never heard anyone, and I've read a lot about this game, and I've talked to people about this game. Are you telling me, Vitaphone, and all the time that this game was out in the wild before it was this new remaster? I know there was a remaster in the past, but this one where they changed it. Are you telling me that Frank West's behavior was clearly presented to the audience through playing the game, that he was a vulture and he was basically a bad guy? If that was the case, or is the case, then I agree with you. Then I'm like, oh yeah, no, then that's been there from the start. But what I can feel a lot of people doing though is kind of retroactively talking about it in a way where it's like, it's always been that way. It's like, really? Where has that been that way? Where have people talked about this messaging Send me a link. I'm not saying you're wrong. Ewood says 2024 is boring. We can't even have a little fun. You can have a lot of fun. You can have a great deal of fun. But yeah, Cantankerous says when it came out, it was schlocky B-movie fun. That's it. Did you see? But I mean, yeah, send me a link. Send me a link of where that is clear if you have one. Or maybe I will. Maybe what I'll do is I'll play it at least a couple of hours, and I'll be looking for that. I'm assuming Vitaphone in the first couple of hours that it's clear. So if I start taking creep shots, it'll be clear that the message of, not, that, hey, this is a message on tabloid vultures is clear. If so, great. I'll give it a play and see before this one comes out. Frank is one of the best VG protagonists, says Blood Money. Of course, in today's world, fun is not allowed. Fun is totally allowed. I'll tell you, first let me say thank you to First Time Chat from Nerds the Podcast. I appreciate you guys rating over on the Twitch and being here. Thank you, fellas. Fun may not be allowed if the only thing you play on is, and not even that, though. Here's the deal. People talk, I was a kid of the 80s, man. I went to all the TNA movies and the horror movies. I love that stuff. I loved it then. I love it now. I'm not opposed to it. But those were inches away from basically being exploitation movies. And I don't mean that offensively. I mean in terms of the budgets. It's not like they went and were competing with Return of the Jedi with, Friday the 13th Part 4. They didn't spend a lot of money. They didn't have to make a lot of money. And that's still happening in the game world. It's just that if you want that shit now, you're going to have to, play games that don't cost as much because, and I guarantee you, if you wanted to stay in business and you ran Capcom, you would do the same. Because unless, or you would go to them if you were maybe a better executive and you would say, hey, fellas, the world has changed a bit, maybe a lot. Let's say Vitaphone's right. And Frank West is a douchebag, and that's part of this character, and it's part of the messaging. We will not get rid of that. But so many people miss that, or it wasn't talked about. We don't want to be super on the nose, but we very much would like to at least make sure that that messaging is a little less hidden and apparent. I think that would be a good compromise, frankly. But we'll see. We'll see. The world is always being forced to change, Magnum. But again, these things are out there. I'm going to move on, but here's my last thing I'll say on it is here's where you should save your rage for. You should save your rage like if you live in the UK and it becomes like illegal to say certain things or to express certain things, then that's a real fucking problem. At least in America. Then where's the gun I need to pick up to fight alongside you? Because people have a right to express whatever the fuck they want. But do not make the assumption that capitalism was somehow more noble back in the day. They were making what sold. And frankly, I guarantee you, if Stellar Blade had sold more than 1 million copies, if it had done like the $25 million off or sales off a $50 million product, I guarantee you we would be seeing a shit ton more TNA AA video games. Yeah, that's right, Mecca. They really should pay me at this point. Mecca says, didn't know Jaffe's stream was sponsored by Scott Toilet Paper. All I'm saying is that the minute I turn my ad blocker on these days with Chrome, it slows down. It pisses me off. Okay. Let us move forward as we go. Talk about Concord briefly. Hey, Stephen Hawkins, thank you, buddy. 28 months, buddy. I appreciate that great long-time support. Thank you, sir. He says, QuickTime events was the most anti-fun thing you ever did. I have an issue with AAA games. I find myself playing more retro or indie shit, and I don't know why. Well, A, fuck you. 2, I only did QuickTime events in one game. And frankly, it was, between us and Resident Evil 4, we were the first ones doing it. So fuck you. I didn't squeeze the blood from that fucking sponge like everybody else did. I like all games, man. I mean, I do play more retro and indie because it's more interesting. There's more interesting shit these days coming out for indie games and AA games. 100%. 100%. Most AAA games, if you strip out the production value, are really just kind of just not very interesting. Not all of them. I'm looking forward to Black Myth. I'm looking forward to Indiana Jones, but that's more because the character. But I'm with you on that though. I play a lot of indie games these days. Okay. Yes, I will be playing Black Myth on stream. Absolutely, Braden. When it comes out, day it comes out or the night it drops, whenever I can get my hands on it. Absolutely. Listen to this. Concord. Now this is I just gotta ask. This is something in the title says, does Sony does PlayStation punish failure too much? And I get failure is something that should be, there should be consequences for it. And I think this game is headed towards a big fucking failure, and that's not anything clever. Everybody, I think you would be hard pressed to find many people that would say this is gonna surprise us. I don't think this is going to surprise anybody other than, just how quick support and players drop, or how quick the game flips to free to play. And so my question is, and I've said this about these guys, right? I've said that, they put out their season roadmap today, basically. And it's I don't care. Does anybody really care? It's like October, you're getting a new season, a new free gunner, a new map. Who cares, right? If you played the beta, do you fucking care? And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but do you fucking care? I played Marvel Rivals. Again, they get by on the brand, and it's a solid, good game. And, if Keely's talking about it at Gamescom opening night in a week, which we'll be streaming, I want to see, can I see Captain America? Can I see, a level set on the outside and inside of the Daily Bugle? I'm in. But Concord, who gives a shit, right? But as I've said, though, this should be able to fail spectacularly. And yes, Sony should be able to go in and go, there's some people, and I hate to just be a dick, but there are some people that were problematic in relation to choices that we think maybe they may not have a home on this team. But it's clearly a beautifully well-made game. Similarly, when you look at the story that little Jason Schreier was talking about, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, when he was on a podcast and he said basically, in essence, heads rolled when the Last of Us 2 Factions multiplayer game after 4 years was canceled. Now, obviously, I'm not a fly on the wall. Maybe the heads that rolled should very well have rolled because X, Y, and Z that we don't know. But it's between that and this, between that game and learning that heads rolled, between hearing people saying, oh, they're going to shut this down, between Pixelopolis being shut down after Concrete Genie. It's just like, it just seems weird to me that, the way you learn is by failing sometimes. And if you can identify the quality of the failure or the quality within the failure, then you kind of pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and you go again. But I think we've lost something as consumers if this team goes away. I frankly think now, given that Marathon, people are saying is not in a great state, that Destiny's not in a great state, I think now more people are like, well, wait, did you really need to cancel the fucking Factions? Maybe they did. Maybe they fucking did. And then there was another game recently where Sony, it didn't perform Drawn to Death? No, that was a long time ago. And they gave us another chance, to their credit. But there was another game that didn't perform on PS5, and they shut those guys down. It's just like, failure is, that's how you build. You build off of what you learn. Why are you going to go give that to some other team or some other group of people now? I mean, I don't understand it. I do not understand it at all. Kyle Steffi says, if you look at game studios on Wikipedia back in the 90s, studios that closed would have 20 games before they closed. Now some legit get one game before closure. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I get it. The money, it's more money. But again, that's just bad executiving. You can go, like Mutmo is saying, the Destruction All-Stars team. I don't know where they were. I don't know how many games they had made. I don't think that was their first game. But certainly if you look at the I mean, it is ridiculous when you think about it. If you look at the quality of Destruction All-Stars, it was a very high-quality game. It was not a high-quality commercial design. The characters were not good. The game wasn't sticky. But technically speaking, execution-wise, it was really fucking good, especially for a goddamn launch title. And it's just dead. They got scattered to the fucking wind. And I get it, right? They can't spend money on everything. Things have to go, and you're not going to kill the team that just made you a hit. But it is a little weird to me that this seems to be the norm at a big company like Sony. No, I'm sorry, Magnum, you're just wrong. High quality my ass, it looked like a mobile game. No, it didn't. You may be talking about the art style, and certainly creativity is subjective, but no, it really didn't. That's just that's ludicrous. That it looked, I hated the title though. Destruction. Why did they even call it that? Such a bad title. No, it did not look like a mobile game. It was a very well-produced, well-made video game. And I'm sorry, if you play mobile games that look this good, then you're from the future. And I would love to know who wins the election, because you're out of your goddamn mind, sir. But anyway, and I don't know, the servers may still be going, but the team's not. And they actually did a lot of improvements on this game. I mean, it was not a bad game. The biggest problem with this game was that it wasn't sticky. That was, even when they went in and they fixed the ramming and they fixed a lot of the kind of internet issues or the connection issues that made a game like this that needs to play well, play a lot better, added some modes. It just, for whatever reason, they could not keep people coming back. And I don't know what the solve was or is to that, but that's a hard problem. But you don't get rid of a team that knows how to do this. I just don't understand. But there you go. But yeah, this was a fun game. I couldn't play it for more than this had the problem that, in my opinion, Calling All Cars had, which it was, it was fun in little bursts. It was like bubblegum, but you couldn't play more than 2 matches before you wanted to move on. So that's what I would say on this. But no, I'm sorry. This does not look like a mobile game. It doesn't look like The Last of Us on PS5 Remastered Part 1, but it's not supposed to. Does everything have to look that way to be? There's the problem. There's your fucking problem right there. All you guys bitching about, well, why aren't games fun anymore? Why is everybody playing it safe? Well, because some of you guys are so obsessed with the visuals and not the gameplay, that, that's what you get. I don't want to play an indie game. I don't want to play it looks like a AA game. AA. Fine. Then you know what? Fuck you. Go enjoy your gaming experience of, 2 or 3 big games a year that play like everything else but look great. And then maybe whatever it is that you think you get from that, the joy, or maybe you've got a girl you think will finally be impressed if she sees you playing a big video. I don't know. But it's ridiculous. Gaming is the best art form out there, and so many of you guys just shit all over it because it's like, it's not pretty enough. It doesn't make my penis hard. Gross. I haven't played Flat Out Derby, but I'll tell you what I have played. I'll tell you what I have played that I love, and I'm loving that THQ Nordic just announced a sequel, which is Wreckfest, man. Wreckfest it was and is the shit. Was and is the shit. And they're making a sequel. All right. The PlayStation fan base says 1 minute is just used to The Last of Us graphics. It looks nowhere near that. They don't want it. Well, then they're dumb. And Sony has laid down with the enemy, if that's the case. If the majority of that fan base only care about graphics, all these people who say, oh, Jaffe, you're salty about Sony. Fuck you, motherfucker. The Sony I came up with is not that Sony anymore. If these people at Sony are really what's the word? Are so loyal and committed to pleasing the graphics whores, and that's their number one priority, then no, it's not my favorite video game publisher anymore. And they don't want me and I don't want them. Fuck that. My God, there's so many cool fucking video games out there. The graphics don't look, fuck you. And more importantly about that, do you realize that the graphics that you were coming in your goddamn pantyhose about 4 months ago are now yesterday's news? I mean, that's the funny part is how unless you're a brand new person on the planet, how many experiences have you gone through where you say, oh my God, it's amazing. And then it stops being amazing and something else is amazing. It's like being married to a supermodel and you get bored of her. You know, I want another supermodel now. Drives me crazy. Drives me nuts. All right. Good to see you, Steven. I'm glad you're feeling better. All right, let's move forward. Oh, there you go. The Order 1886. That was the other team I was thinking of. Now, again, I don't know. I don't know if Ready at Dawn, which just shut down, not because of Sony, but I don't know just because if the Order was a failure, did Sony say, get out of here, we don't want you? Or maybe they said, we love you, but we're not going to let you make this fucking game again, like a sequel. I don't know. But if it was just because it failed, then shame on them, because that's an amazing fucking team. And yeah, they made a game that they shouldn't have made, that needed more gameplay, and, you know, shame on the Sony producers for letting it happen. But, you know, you don't throw the baby out with the goddamn bathwater. Good God. All right, let's move forward. Pub Monkey over on Twitch says, look, man, once the suits come in, games just are copy paste and corner cutting. The suits have always been there. Always. Somebody says, but weren't you the one that was bitching about the graphics on Elden Ring? I don't know what it is that you are referring to. I mean, I'm sure it's not the world's prettiest looking game, that's for sure. Neither is Tears of the Kingdom. Is it Tears of the new one? Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. But that doesn't mean they're not brilliant fucking video games. And I would rather have them, my favorite game of all time is Elden Ring. And one of the most innovative design games I've ever played is the fucking Tears of the Kingdom. I'd rather have that than great graphics. But it doesn't mean that you can't comment on, those graphics aren't great, but I'm not going to abandon it or not play it because the graphics aren't great. That's ridiculous. Vitaphone, thank you, buddy. Member for 33 goddamn months. He shows up and he says this. He puts his I don't got nothing, Vitaphone. He says, Sony built a brand on WoW. They have done it for the beginning. It was cheaper to push the envelope. Doesn't mean they aren't culpable. I agree. Oh, there's no doubt, man. They've dug their own grave. I agree with you. And they need to fix it lickety fucking split, man. I mean, one could argue, I know that right now Helldivers is kind of struggling to keep its players up, and people are upset about some of the changes, but that game has made so much money at this point, and more importantly, it's a game that doesn't look brilliant. It's not a bad looking game. It's a total fine looking game, But it ain't like, oh my fucking God. And what a great lesson I hope Sony learns from that. Is like, what do you mean? We don't have to spend all this fucking money on all kinds of crazy proprietary engine and animation systems and all this shit. We can just make something fun that's commercial and we'll make our money back. What the fuck? Why didn't nobody tell me that? I hope so. I hope so. Oh, it is not. Dougie Jones says, Jaffe, this live stream is currently live on a smart fridge at Home Depot. Just opened it and left. Makes a hello, all you old so-and-sos at Home Depot. I'm glad you're shopping there. You ever think about this when you're shopping at the Home Depot? You ever think about the man who runs the Home Depot as a staunch supporter of Donald Trump? Now, that's all right. I got nothing against you if you want to support Donald Trump. At least 4 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. But now? You going to support him now after he tried to overthrow the government? Come on, Home Depot shopper, get out of there. Don't you give that man any of your goddamn hard-earned money. Go somewhere else. I don't care where you go to shop for your unmentionables or whatever they sell there at the Home Depot. But don't you be buying from that Home Depot, man. Come on now. Also, I'm in aisle 6 right now. I'm broadcasting live. Get back there and I'll show you. Give you old pickle tickle. Let's move forward. Cantankerous Games, thank you, buddy. He's been a member for 26 months. He says, but WoW meant... oh, yeah, well, okay, yeah. He's saying that Sony's old WoW didn't only used to be graphics. It meant trying new things. It's true. And it was less expensive, to their credit. It was easier to try a Parappa or a God of War than it is today. But, you know, I mean, look, there's a thread going on over on NeoGAF right now about what remaster, what remake would you like to have? And it's like the entire entertainment industry has gotten so shell-shocked because of the cost of all of the art that gets created now that everything, and this is not anything clever, we know this, but everything is a fucking remaster or a fucking remake. No gamer should be like, what remake do you want? It should be, what new thing do you want? Why would you be excited over what you've already had that just has a new level of graphics? That's ridiculous to me. We've been, or a lot of us have been conditioned that that's all that matters. But you're right, Cantankerous, back in the day, Sony used to, yeah, their graphics were still top of the line, but they would put out, you know, for every Gran Turismo, which looked like, you know, amazing photoreal for the time, you know, they would put something out, like a Parappa, or they would put something out like a Kinetica, which I told them from the start wasn't going to sell anything, but still. Okay. Or Jet Moto or Wave Race. That's right. Okay, let me... Henry, I'm not going to answer any God of War 3 questions. This is not a God of War stream, buddy. This is the day's news. I'm an easy-to-find guy on the internet if you want to ask me a question or if I'm ever doing a specific God of War thing. But I'm not going to derail the whole thing, no offense. It's not like Q&A. I do open mic or free swims. We did one yesterday where people can ask whatever they want. But today is a proper news show. So we're just talking about the news of the day. So I don't want you to waste your time if you're waiting for me to see that. I've seen your comment, but I'm not talking God of War today unless there's news that you know about. Now, my understanding is the Half-Life 3 rumor has been debunked, right? That's not why I have this news story up. My understanding is that Black Mesa is an actual business somewhere that has nothing to do with video games, is what I saw. And they said that that people saw that and got confused. Half-Life 3, let me see. And maybe that's true or not, but yeah, here we go. New Half-Life mystery solved as Black Mesa website. Recent rumors have swirled. The mystery revolved around a company called Black Mesa. Half-Life fans will instantly recognize the name. Despite evidence, it isn't actually a real company. It is a company called Black Mesa that has nothing to do with Valve or Half-Life. So people assume that this was a thing. And, you know, who knows? Maybe it is. But here's my question. Does anybody care? I mean, seriously. Who would greenlight Half-Life 3 at this point? Would be my question. Because right? I mean, yes, there's a nostalgia factor. I understand that. I appreciate that. But Gordon Freeman is not on the list of top 50 Halloween costume kids are dressing up as. Nobody gives a fuck about this other than people who are way too old to be numerous enough to move the financial needle. So I don't think, I'm not saying that there's not anybody that would care that's a hardcore gamer, but is it really like, it was amazing for its time because it was the first time we had ever really seen in-game storytelling, adventure, first person. We had never really seen anything like it. We had thought about it. We had fantasized about it. But we had not seen it until Half-Life came out. Half-Life 2 had some cool weapons and the graphics were cutting edge at the time, but nobody's going around talking about the fucking story, and nobody, it's a dead franchise. And I would say leave it be. I'm not trolling. Gun says I'm trolling hard. You need to go work on your Marvel Snap, Gun, because I'm closing in behind you on the Alliance or whatever it's called. But yeah, I don't think it's a very strong. Hey, my nephew Daniel's in the chat. Hello, Daniel. I don't think it's a very strong brand anymore. Is all. I mean, come at me, disagree with me, but understand what I'm saying first. I'm not saying it's not a great game in the past. I'm not saying you don't have great fond memories. I'm not saying it's not one of the greatest games of all time, at least the first one in terms of what it brought to the industry. I'm saying that if you were sitting there with the checkbook and you're Gabe and you're going, okay, I'm going to invest $80 million in a more relevant to today's audience game, or I'm going to invest in Half-Life 3, you'd really write the check for Half-Life 3, and you think that would be the smarter decision? Given how, I mean, when Half-Life 2 was 2003? Is that right? Let's see. When did Half-Life 2 come out? 2004. It's 20 years old. And Half-Life Alyx, I don't really think was successful. I mean, it was successful in the sense that a lot of people looked at it like as the savior or the evidence that VR could really be something. And I didn't think Half-Life Alyx was that great. It was fine, but I don't think Half-Life Alyx was really this, it wasn't in the top 10 sales or anything like that, was it? Necro, okay, well, that's a good point. Necro says, I'm pretty sure Valve only does Half-Life if they feel it can be presented in a way that pushes the medium forward. Hence Half-Life Alyx. There really hasn't been any massive innovation since Half-Life 2. Okay, so if they feel that they have something that they can say about moving the technology forward and they want to put it in Half-Life because they think that is the brand, every time a Half-Life comes out, it's evidence of a bar being raised in some aspect of the medium, okay. I would say that makes sense. But I don't think the story of Half-Life or the brand of Half-Life carries much of anything with it anymore. I mean, most gamers don't know, who a character who is a big, most gamers, they don't know who the fuck Dante is. And he's had games out and he's been a co-star in fighting games and shit. So certainly they don't know the story of Half-Life. But we'll see. But it sounds like it's not even coming. It sounds like Gabe is smart with his money and says, we're not making that. Xbox is advertising McDonald's on its dashboard. Fans aren't happy. I saw Eddie Torres today got the glass he was looking for. They're not really glasses. You see this, the new collectible glasses McDonald's doing, but they're cups. I hate that. When I was a kid, they were glasses, man, and they could break, and they broke a lot. I had great Boba Fett Empire Strikes Back glass. But anyway, McDonald's is bringing back their glasses, but they're putting them in plastic cups that are see-through and whatever. But he got one today that he's been looking for, the Coke Bears, which is pretty cool. I want to go get one now. But that's not the point. The point is Xbox has now been putting their ads for other things on the dashboard. Gamers don't seem to be too thrilled by it. I don't really care. I mean, I don't know. Should I care? I mean, you know what? Here's what I'd say. I don't care enough to change my behavior. If people really hated this, they'd stop playing the goddamn Xbox. I think kind of have. But I agree with 7.6. 7.6 says Xbox should do Happy Meals with a free code. Right. Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. If I click this and I get a bacon, not bacon, I don't like bacon. If I get an egg and cheese biscuit without bacon, a hash brown, a cup of coffee, and a Diet Coke, and I get 10% off and I get a month of Game Pass, I'm excited. Give me that all day long. You goddamn right. Or if I click on this and I buy in and then I get like 5 achievements in a day, I get a scratch-off card, that digital scratch-off card that I can use at McDonald's. I'm in all day long. But, you know, I don't know. Look at this, though. Signy. I don't know how to play this game. It's a beautiful fucking game. If you haven't seen this game, it's a arcadey top-down shooter. Just came out. You can get it right now for free on Epic Game Store if you have a PC. And it is absolutely fucking delightful. But I don't know how to play it because it is really... I don't think it's complex. I just don't think it does a really good job at explaining all of the systems. But if you're into this kind of stuff, check it out. Terrible name, Signy. But I'll show it to you real quick, just so you see what I'm talking about. I played it the other night. CYG and I gameplay. Look at this. This is beautiful. This is one of the prettiest games I've seen this year. And again, doesn't mean it's a great game. Doesn't mean it's a great game. But in this case, it's real pretty. It's real fucking pretty. Although this is not on PC. I'm playing it on PC, so this is on Xbox. It may not be as pretty. Let's see. It's a really neat looking shooter, but it's a shoot 'em up, but I don't understand. Is it on Game Pass? I don't know. I don't think so. It is free right now though, Samian, on Epic Game Store though. Absolutely. And it's cool. There's a lot of systems. There's a lot of upgrades. There's a lot of customization. It's not, thank God there's a hit point bar and there's a shield. So it's not like one hit and the game's over, because I suck at that kind of shit. But it is Konami. They're publishing it, right? But it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful looking game. It's got a lot of imagination. And if you do have an Epic Game Store account, you don't have to play it right now or ever, but might as well put it in your library. And see it if you dig it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, generally this is the true dart guns. Yeah, maybe in my imagination. That's about it. Yeah, we talked about that already. Did you see this? Come on now. You see this? This is nuts, man. This is great. This is great. There is a thing called Sleep Fighter. This is a real thing. This is bizarre as fuck, but it's kind of cool. It's a Street Fighter tournament taking place in Japan. And it's being sponsored by a drug company, SS Pharmaceuticals, to promote its sleep drug. I'm reading this from Video Games Chronicles. Sleep drug Druwell. Right? And what they do is you have to get 6 hours of sleep the week leading up to the tournament each night for a total of 42 hours a person. I don't know how they track this, which means your whole team has to get 126 hours of sleep. If the team's total sleep is less, they get penalized 5 points for every hour of sleep deprivation. So if they have 123 hours as a team, they'll lose 15 points. Here's what they say. It's a good, good sleep hygiene is so fucking important, but it's crazy though. The tournament is part of the Active Sleep Project, which aims to encourage Japanese people to get more sleep. Sleep, this is the quote, is not just for getting rid of daily fatigue. It gives our bodies and minds the power to challenge ourselves. By actively sleeping, you can make the most of each day and live your life to the fullest. In order to bring this active sleep to as many people as possible, we are starting the Active Sleep Project, which is what this is a part of, to support people who are taking on the challenge of sleeping. But I think that's kind of cool, man. When you do get a good night's sleep, nothing like it. Feels great. Feels fucking great. That's kind of cool though. And it's kind of cool though that they're saying take this drug. We don't want you to take Ritalin or any kind of performance this is in essence a performance inducing drug, right? Or enhancing drug. It makes you sleep more, but there is plenty of evidence that if you get a good night's sleep, you're going to be able to function better the next day. So I wonder why this drug is okay, but if you told somebody you were doping on the Ritalin or anything else, I wonder why that's a problem. I wonder why that's a problem for people. But, it's kind of cool, though. PG says, I need that drug. Well, head on down to the SS Pharmaceuticals. Very unfortunate there. I guess it's headed up by Joseph Goebbels. They have an active sleep project, but I don't know if it's anywhere other than Japan right now. Jaffe, can you enter the other side if you oversleep? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you get extra moves that you can pull off with your fighters if you sleep more than 6 hours. Sleep helps the brain work, says Necro, and solve problems encountered throughout the day. It absolutely does. When I was a kid, I saw this movie, which was a movie based on a thing that was big when my dad was a kid, which is called Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers is about this astronaut in the 50s, 60s, 70s who goes into space and something happens and he falls asleep in the capsule and he wakes up in the 25th century. Whatever. It was not a very good movie. Probably a good comic strip. Doesn't matter. The point, and they made TV series about it with the little robot that went around going beady 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 beady. That's true. Totally fucking true. But here's the point. In the movie, they had this bed. And when they were doing the little sequence, like a 10-minute sequence of him coming to the future and seeing all the crazy future shit. One of it was a smart bed. And you lay down in the smart bed and the smart bed tells you, you go, okay, when do you want to fall asleep, Buck Rogers? And you say, in 10 minutes. It'll just pop you out in 10 minutes. It's like a bed that isn't a sleep aid and you're just off to sleep. It's fucking cool. Samian says the Buck Rogers Sega arcade cabinet was pretty good. It was. That was pretty fucking cool if you remember. Sega Buck. I can't even type at this angle. Buck Rogers cabinet. Yeah, this was a cool cabinet. Planet of Zoom. I also had it on ColecoVision. But yeah, it was one of those sit down cabinets, man. Back in the day, that was something. I want to say thank you to Mr. Bear. Comes in and drops a super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, Jaffe, longtime TM fan. Thank you on behalf of all of us who made them. Twist Metal 4 and Black were my faves. Keep up with the great content. Stay safe out there, you legend. Mr. Bear, right back at you. Well, not about the Twist Metal part because you didn't work on those as far as I know. But thank you on behalf of all of us who did. And thank you for the support and thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Everybody give Mr. Bear a pickle tickle. And, let me make something very clear. Here's some very great wisdom, Mr. Bear. I can't help but be racist. It's true. Yeah, there you go. That's for you, buddy. Thank you, bud. I appreciate it, man. Okay. What else we got lined up today, boys? Listen to this. Listen to this asshole. Listen to this asshole. This guy's responding the other day to a post I put up playing 7 Days to Die, which I'm enjoying very much. And I'm playing it and I'm using ChatGPT voice to sort of, role play. So I tell the character or the guy, the chat guy, I'm like, hey, you be a character in the apocalypse. This video's up. You can see a bunch of it. And it was fun. And it helped me also with the game, like explaining it to me, blah, blah, blah. So this guy writes back. This is his comment on the video. I hate people like this. Jazzman Games, I fucking hate you. Such a smug little fuck. He says, so instead of looking for 7 Days to Die beginner's guide on YouTube, you can now ask an AI to steal from all the beginner's guides on the internet out there to amalgamate it into all robotic dialogue. Revolutionary. Now let me explain something, bitch. Jazzman, idiot. If, you don't know who you're speaking with. I was there when they rolled the first video games off the truck in Alabama, you moron. I've been playing longer than you and your dummy life has been around, okay? And what I'm telling you is everything eats every fucking thing else. Do you think the first time people lost a job to video game help was the beginner guides? Do you know they stole from the strategy guides, and the strategy guides stole from the helpline, and the helpline stole from the early magazines, and before that, they all stole from the manuals because that's all you had. So you act like, I mean, don't fucking come at me like you're some kind of fucking purist, like you're out there fighting the fight of the people. Oh, you can steal from the beginner guides on the internet. You know where they stole from? Their fucking internet guides wouldn't exist without the games they're fucking stealing from, you idiot. Fucking idiot. Go sit down, you bitch. I'm so tired of these kind of people. I'm tired of them. I don't mind if you're a cynic. I don't mind if you disagree with me. But you're coming into the bar, throwing open the doors and shit like that, acting like you got something to say, and it's stupid. You're just a stupid duty head. Yeah! I want to talk about this real quick. This is me when I was probably 15 years old. And this is related to video games. Hello, Master Luke. Good to see you, buddy. Always good. I'm still working on the letter. I have ADD. It's going to take some time. It's not going to be soon. It'll be in the next handful of months. Because to sit down and handwrite a letter, as much as I appreciate it, that's hard for me. And then to mail it is hard for me. But I'll do it. And I appreciate it. And I want to do it for you. And I appreciate what you've done for us. This is me as a kid. And this is related to video games, okay? So this is me on a set of a movie I made when I was in high school or junior. I was like 15, 16, whatever age that is, whatever school that is. Terrible fucking movie. It's called Into Core. There's me directing, quote, directing. Also known as hanging out with my friends, right? Okay. And then here's another one. This is my big special effects shot. This is where the whole building was supposed to be collapsing.
Action.
There's a buddy of mine who's throwing rocks off the roof to simulate the collapse of this structure.
I don't care. I'm getting out of here. Yeah, come on, boys. Come on.
This is amazing. I don't understand it. The molecular structure, I know it's troubling, but that's
Okay, terrible, right? The reason this is on my mind, though, is, don't fucking come and, I swear, every YouTuber says they have ADD. Would you like to see my fucking Ritalin, bitch? I've had it I've been diagnosed for over 10 years. Here's the point, though. Casting of Frank Stone. I'm interested in this. And this is why. I got the last issue of Game Informer ever to be released. And I didn't realize this. It's inspired in a large part by the motion picture Super 8. It's about a bunch of teenage kids hello, pause. It's about a bunch of teenage kids making a movie one summer. And it's all about the craziness and stuff that goes on. And then, of course, it all goes south and there's a murder. We didn't have that happen to us. But it just reminded me of those times. And the more I read about this game, the more I am interested in this video game. Because what's cool about it is not just the subject matter. It's about kids making a movie. And it's very much the Supermassive formula because it's made by Supermassive. But is it $70? I have no idea. Probably, but I don't know. But what's cool about it is it's very much like it almost feels more. They have this thing called the cutting room floor. Okay. And it's kind of like when you played Detroit Become Human and they had the structure to show you how all the choices affected each other and you could kind of go back and shit. In this case, after you finish the game, the cutting room floor opens and you actually get to play, you actually get to sort of just play and start at any of those choices, right? So I think it sounds really cool. The subject sounds cool. It's set in the Dead by Daylight universe. Apparently, if you're into that game, I don't play it that much, but I understand the meta story of that game. And in that, it sounds like they're going to do some explaining about what the entity is, and they're going to deal with this specific killer and the entity kind of coming into this world and maybe extracting them into the Dead by Daylight fucking game. I'm excited for this. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I read the write-up today in Game Informer, and it really got me thinking of those days and really got me thinking of making movies with my buddies, which was a great deal of fun. The movies were terrible, but it was a great deal of fun. A great deal of fun. It's $40. This is $40. Oh shit, I'm in. Yeah, the casting of Frank Stallone. That's right. Yeah, no, I'm super excited for this. Vitaphone says, let's not forget, going back to the other comment, the content creators are making a living off playing a game they didn't make, right? 100%. I mean, where does it end and where does it start? I think there should be laws in place for certain things, not everything like that, but maybe that. Just like, do I have to pay Steven Spielberg for basically being heavily influenced by Raiders of the Lost Ark? Do I have to play Ray Harryhausen's estate for being super influenced by Clash of the Titans? I don't know, but certainly it's an interesting conversation to me. Anyway, give it a look if you're into this kind of stuff. There's such great horror coming. And you know what this reminds me? I want to play... I loved Killer Inside or whatever from their Dark Anthology. I want to play the one that's set like in the Middle East where they're in the tombs. I haven't played that one yet. And I didn't like The Quarry. I did not think The Quarry was great. But what's fun about this too is it is multiplayer, so you can play it with people online and make decisions together and stuff. So I will be streaming this when it comes out in a month. I think we're a month away from this. So we're a month away from this. We're a week away from Black Myth Wukong. What about the, Captain Howdy, that was House of Ashes. What about the Visions of Mana game? I know everybody kind of bitched about that, but I didn't finish it. But I played the demo, and I kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of good, but everybody's like yelling about it and saying it's crap. I mean, did you guys play this demo of Legend of Mana? Because there's also a write-up of that in the Game Informer, and I haven't read it yet. But you tried the demo. So you're saying that it felt stiff, the combat. I didn't get that. I thought it was fun that I could jump between all the characters and change, and the combat felt good to me. I thought it was neat. But we'll see. When you buy a game, you're paying for the interaction. With the interaction, there's no game. Yeah, whatever. I know what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, Jarvie says, I thought the demo was fun. Yeah, absolutely. 1 Minute Gamer says, Jaffe, can we add you on Steam? I don't know what that means. Can you add me? While you're explaining that, here's my question. I want to know, would you like to know the final issue of Game Informer? You thought the demo looked like a this is the same guy who was bitching about, oh, fuck you, Magnum. You're the same guy that said Destruction All-Stars looked like a mobile game. Fuck you. You idiot. It does not look like a mobile game, you moron. Let me show. God damn it. You're going to hell. I don't even believe in hell, and you're going there. Look at this. Visions of Mana gameplay. Fuck you, idiot. Come on, what's the matter with you? You got the rocks in your brain pan? This does not look like a mobile game. It looks good. It doesn't look, what do you need, man? It doesn't look like the cyberpunk shit that we were looking at earlier. But what are you looking for? What do you need in your life to say it's not a mobile? You're an idiot. He's like, I'm just kidding, Jaffe. I've been legally blind since I was 4. Clearly, look at that. That's beautiful. Looks like you're stepping into a goddamn anime. Anyway, yeah, it does look amazing. You goddamn right. Listen to this. These are the final top 10 games of the final issue of Game Informer. Here we go. I'm not sleeping on John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. I've only seen one trailer, and I saw it at one of Keeley's shows, but I haven't seen. I'm definitely, my mind is open to it, but I don't. How much is John Carpenter really spending on that? We'll talk about Halloween in a second. Listen to this. Here we go. Number 10. This is the community's games they've been playing. It's my opinion, man. No, you're just an idiot. Sometimes people are just wrong, and you're one of them. Okay, listen. This is the games the community's playing at Game Informer as they shut down. Number 10, Fallout 4. Number 9, Alan Wake 2. Number 8, Dragon Age Origins. Number 7, Stellar Blade. Number 6, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Number 5, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Number 4, Starfield. Number 3, Destiny 2. The First Descendant, new release, number 2. And the number 1 game they are still playing is Elden Ring. Now, I'll tell you one last thing. We'll move on from Game Informer. Look at this. This is break your goddamn heart a little bit. Just a little bit, though. Yeah, Soak7 says there's a Black Myth benchmark tool on Steam to see how it runs on your PC. It runs great on my PC because my PC is GeForce Now. Look at that, right? If you open it, they have this. Look at what it says. It says, Game Informer's been around since 1991. Keep us around for another 30 years. It's an ad for you to subscribe to the paper magazine. Well, you didn't. I did. I did my part. Wasn't enough, was it? Sons of bitches. Okay. Let's move on. Polygon's got a new look. I don't care. I like what they wrote. The editor wrote about it saying, oh, I don't care. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I'm bored of that now. I'm not bored of this, though. Day One Patch Kids in 2 weeks. You know, Day One Patch Kids, one of our long-term supporters, God of War members, creator of the Day One Patch Kids. Basically, it's a mix between the Garbage Pail Kids and video game characters. How could you not love them? Well, this man is making a rare appearance. He's going to get into the convention scene to show people how great his stuff is at the Tampa Bay Comic-Con. It's going to be in 10 days. And I highly recommend you go visit him. I've never seen what he looks like before. I don't know why I thought he was a black guy. Don't care if he's a black guy, white guy, yellow guy, turquoise guy, but he's not a black guy. He's a, where's that video? I'll show you what he looks like. He put this up on the, he sent it to me, so I guess he sent it to me and he means I can share it. I hope so. Maybe he's like, don't show that. I want people to think I'm a black guy. Anyway, I don't know where it is, but he put it, well, is this it? Is this it? This might be it. Let's see. Well, I don't know where it is, but he's painting the Day One Patch Kids art. It's very, very cool. And if you want to see the Day One Patch Kids, what I'm saying is that's this guy's stuff. It's very, very good stuff. There's God of War, Clod of War down there. Going over to his site, man, you can see it in the links below. Seriously, get some fucking t-shirts from the man. Get some towels. Get some shower curtains from the man. The guy does good goddamn work. I don't understand why you don't want to be walking around the gymnasium with a Spacey Sam or a Laura Croft Day One Patch Kid or Cyberjunk 77. What's the matter with you? Going over there. And then another God of War member has a game out that he's looking for testers, play testers. It is quite cool. We've shown it on the stream before. It is called Swapfire. It has got a very cool, clever mechanic where when you, and it's very basic. He's not trying again. This is something Magnum will hate. Magnum looks like a mobile game. Yeah, but for people who love gameplay, you know, the point of the art form, it's pretty cool because what it is, it's a video game where it plays like a shooter, but the trick in the tail is when you shoot enemies, you trade places with them. So you are basically trying to knock them off King of the Hill environments and send them plummeting to their deaths by not just damaging them and using different weapons, but also trading places with them when they are in an inopportune situation. It's fuck you out, Matt. The graphics are awful. It is an indie 1 or 2 man band who's focusing on the gameplay, you fucking idiot. Yes. Don't fuck with me, you son. Fuck you, Magnum. Magnum, I worry about you. I think you may very well be like a missing link or something. Like, it's like, who makes people stupid like you anymore? I was going to go into this Stalker Horror Chernobyl. Let me just tell you, I'll play this in the background. I'm not watching the whole thing. A, because I don't want to spoil it, but B, because it's 30 fucking minutes and I got shit to do in my goddamn life. But it looks pretty
локації,
good.
природу зони. Це вкрай незвичайне поєднання сетінг.
Now, again, I want to play this on GeForce. Anything I can play on GeForce, I'm playing on GeForce. But Shinobi602, who I'm sure you know, over on the Twitter, says he watched this, and these are the takeaways. Here's what he said while you're watching. He says, the zone, which is the game world. Michael Struckman, I interact with everything. I interact with it. Here's the difference, though. Michael Struckman, so I do interact with negativity because it gives me content that may be compelling. But to interact with positivity that's simply parroting my positivity without anything to add to it, what do I do with that? Like Michael Struckman, you wrote earlier when we were talking about Swapfire, you wrote, man, that's an awesome idea. I'm like, yeah, I was just saying that. So, and again, I'm not saying I don't appreciate your comment. I'm not saying the people who make Swapfire don't appreciate your comment. I'm sure they do. But what do I do with it? If you got an idea, how do I spin that comment into something other than going, yep, you're right? That's all I'm saying. It's not that I love the positivity, baby. We need more of it in the world. We need more of it in the chat. Absolutely, Michael. Michael. See, even that, though, we got a little 40-second bit out of that, you and me, Mike, because your comment was like a question. Like, I don't understand this. Why is Jaffe doing that? Ooh, I can use that. It's kind of like, I don't got anything else, Michael. That's all I got for you, sir. That's all I got for you. Listen to this. The zone is the world. Huge open world consisting of 20 regions, each with their own residents, architecture, nature, and anomalies. There are no barriers in the game. You're free to explore any location. It's built to give the feeling of freedom, loneliness, and anxiety. Why play the game? Nearly 3 hours worth of cutscenes. No, thank you. No leveling system. The team wanted players to feel progress by gaining better knowledge of the environment, improving reactions, etc. There's 35 weapons that can be modified with upgrades and attachments. You play as Skiff, a common person with a very complex destiny. He is not a superhero. I have to take a little break for a moment and tell you that there was a guy that we went to high school with. His name was Scooter, not Skiff, but his name was Scooter, and he talked like this. And he worked at the grocery store. I've told this story before, but it bears repeating. And if he recognized you from high school, he'd come over and he'd say, hey, buddy, you want some pussy? I know somebody can get you some pussy. That's what he'd say. His name was Scooter, not Skiff. Anyway, you have to watch. You play as Skiff, a common person with very complex destiny. You have to watch Skiff's status, as he may get hungry or need to sleep. Loser. Ignoring them reduces your efficiency. I can play it with an AI. This game, I will absolutely. You can become overloaded if you try and carry too much. Sounds like a sim. Good. One quest is in a swamp, has you turning off psi beacons. Bayan the cat is a powerful mutant that hides in an abandoned church in the swamp, mimicking other stalkers that cry out for help. Players will get different stories depending on the choices they make, encouraging multiple playthroughs. Player progression is rewarded through off-the-path exploration and finding new weapons, attachments, items, and upgrades. One enemy is a pseudo-dog that creates a pack of other phantom dogs. Killing the pseudo-dog gets rid of the phantoms. Another is the zombie-like controller who raises levels of radiation around the area with each attack. Not all anomalies are harmful. Some can provide soft landings to avoid getting hurt when falling. Lightning strikes can hurt you as well as enemies. Variety of factions. Loners prefer to remain alone, thus the name. The duty are committed to military discipline, etc. Factions in the game can sometimes change their leaders or break up. It sounds pretty good. Now, my guard is up because you know what else sounded good about this time last year from Game Pass was the goddamn Redfall. Turned out not to be so great. Okay, so I don't trust these fuckers at all. The one thing you can give Sony to this day, you may not love it, But if Sony puts a game out, it'll be good. It may not be your cup of tea. Like Death Stranding is not my cup of tea, but it's good. It is well made. It is thoughtful. It, maybe they're kind of shit in the bed with Concord. Maybe with Destruction All-Stars. I'm not saying they never fuck up, but they don't put out as many misses as Microsoft does, and that's true. So I'm only, but people who have played this at trade shows and stuff say this is pretty good. So I'm looking forward to it. But we'll see. And it's Game Pass. Again, that's what's great about Game Pass, man. What's funny? So, what's great about Game Pass, you just try this shit. And if you like it, you finish it or you buy it or you don't, but you get a lot of experiences, man. You'll have experiences, man. Metro says Feast is mid-trash, to be honest. This is the better game, but still mid. What does mid mean? What's mid about it? I'm not saying you're wrong, but could you be more specific? If you're going to criticize the work of a team that spent 14 years and lost one of their countrymen to Vladimir Putin in the war against Ukraine, could you at least offer up an explanation as to what makes this mid in your eyes? I understand mid means average, but what does he look? I understand the word mid. I'm saying, what is he seeing here that looks average? What is he talking about? I'm not saying this looks anything other than promising, but it looks like a fun, interesting, open world, pretty deep simulation, but still fun. You guys are misunderstanding. I'm not saying the guy doesn't have a right to his opinion. I'm saying if you're going to make that kind of a statement, are you saying the graphics are mid? Are you saying the way the shotguns work is mid? Are you saying the enemy behavior that you're seeing reflected in these clips are mid? That's all I'm asking. Just be specific. Can you do that? Right, says Scott Defoe. Why is it mid? Right. That's what fuck you, Nugget. It's the mad gamer culture striking hard. Perhaps this game is too much like others. Totally fair, then say that. Say it looks well made, but I've seen this kind of game so many times it doesn't really push my buttons. Oh. It's like, didn't you guys ever go to fucking English class? English class, man. Maybe I was an English major. I studied, high school. Even high school English, you sit down, and if you read the goddamn Lord of the Flies, and the teacher says, all right, Feast, what'd you think of the scene where Piggy dies? That was mid. You could get away with that shit? I couldn't. It would be like, okay, Jaffe, I'm thrilled you think it's mid. Talk to me about that. What's mid about it? What was it about his death scene that didn't move you, evoke anything within you? Could you not relate not to the death scene, but what are you talking about, man? Is there some kind of clout these days for being stupid? It doesn't matter, Spaz. Spaz says we listened to audiobooks in high school. The books. It doesn't matter how you get them into your brain pan. You got the book, didn't you? PK says different generations, Jaffe. What, my generation actually did critical thought and his didn't? Piggy's got the conch. Let the man talk. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm fucking saying. I do want to read Bill Maher's new book. I like Bill Maher. I don't agree with him anymore. I used to agree with him in a lot of things. I don't agree with him a lot these days, but I still like him. I like people who think, even though I don't necessarily have to agree with them. Piggy's got the conch, Dougie Jones. What do you mean Piggy's what? Now look at this. This is where the rubber meets the road, boys and girls. The rubber is meeting the roads. What? This is, I was thrilled by this because I was like, they announced yesterday another couple of Halloween games. And I'm like, yeah, but it's probably going to be another asymmetrical bullshit. No, it's not. At least this one. This is from Way Forward, or at least they're helping with it. One of my favorite developers. Look at this shit.
For mature.
I just got to see something real quick. One second. Okay, so they're different games, but you buy and they cross over. Okay, I see. I didn't know if they were the same game or not, but they're not. They're different games. I don't understand how they cross over unless you buy Halloween and you get to play Michael Myers in this game or Laurie Strode in that game, whatever, but I don't give a fuck. I'm in. Coolio says it looks like it'll be fun for about 10 minutes. I mean, again, now that's a fair criticism, right? Because yes, this trailer exists only to say, look how we're treating the brand. And if you like this kind of retro shit, you'll probably like this. But you're not wrong though. It's a great criticism, which is basically going, after that wears off, are we seeing anything super compelling at a gameplay level? And my answer would be not yet, but you do know that the pedigree of at least the helpers on this game, which is Way Forward, makes some really good shit. So I'm hopeful, but you're right. There's nothing in this that says it's going to be, out of the ordinary. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to this, says Jarvie Rocks. It looks fun. I think Evil Dead fits well with the beat 'em up style. Halloween doesn't. You're right. That's what's kind of fun about it. Disappointed that Halloween isn't a game like Puppet Combo. Oh, I know. But they might be they're making two. Yeah, they're making two, man. I got to speak. Remind me to get back to the Bill Maher thing. Let me see if I have any other topics I want to get to today. I can wait for some of these. Yeah, I'll save these for tomorrow. Okay. Let me just respond about this thing, the Bill Maher thing. I don't understand. It was weird. Bill Maher had that Hawk Tuah girl on, right? And I was like, okay, what? I mean, I didn't watch the interview other than the clips that were going around, but apparently people think it's something was wrong about it or something. And I'm like, what did I miss? Was it just the fact that he said she was adorable or cute or whatever? She is cute. She's super cute. What's the problem? I don't understand. But unless he said something else to her, that's the only thing I could tell that people were up in arms about. And I was just like, well, what, you don't think she's a cute woman? She is. It's one of the reasons trust me, if it was a real nasty woman going, we wouldn't have heard about her, at least not in that light. Anyway, she gave a lot of money to animal shelters. That's adorable, says Gungan. Right. What's the problem? She was trying to hook him up with her grandma. That's fun too, says Freddie. No, it was the advice he gave her to start a sex podcast. Oh, I mean, okay. Okay, yeah, Bill's an old dude commenting on a cute young girl. Let me explain something. I don't know how old you guys are, but I've had it with that. You want to make the age of consent 18, then the age of consent is 18. And even if you don't want to make it that age, the idea that when a man hits 31 years old, he's a weirdo if he's attracted to a young woman. News fucking flash. Young women at a pure visual level are the most attractive type of women if you're into women. I don't mean like, oh, if you know your wife really well. I don't mean any of that. I mean, just pure aesthetically speaking. Shut up is what I would say. Shut up. The fuck's the matter? It's gross. Well, it may be gross. I don't want to watch them fucking. But she's 20 years old. What do you want? Idiots. Anyway. Fellas, Filettis. Listen, it's important to share with you right now. I got to tell you something. And what that is. Geno Soul, Dead Rising being remastered, censored? No, it's not censored, but what I will tell you is we did talk a lot about that earlier in the show, and I will timestamp this later tonight, and I'll let you know. Or I won't let you know, but the timestamps will let you know where that conversation is. Point is this, though. That's Gabbing and Games, baby. That's Gabbing and Games for Tuesday, the 13th of August. I don't know if I'm doing live stuff tomorrow. I might do some game streaming, but I'm working now on a pre-recorded Gabbing and Games that's more just very concentrated about game mechanics and gameplay and previews and stuff. I try to put out 1 or 2 of those a week as well. So I'll be back to a live show later in the week. Probably not tomorrow unless it's a game stream. But in the meantime, I do want to say thank you so much. If you liked this show, please click the like button. Consider a subscription. Better yet, consider a membership, you old so-and-sos, or over on the goddamn, what's it called, the Twitch, where you can use your Amazon Prime to subscribe to your old Papa Jaffe. I would appreciate it. Regardless, though, thank you for hanging out, spending some time with me talking about the video games. I sure appreciate that. It's a great deal of fun. It's a great deal of fun. Arath Isle says, why is a 60-year-old man giving advice on how to capitalize on sexuality to a young woman? I don't know. Maybe because he's been in Hollywood for decades and he's become very successful after having an up and down career and he knows what sells. And he's like, hey, would you like to make a lot of fucking money? You're hot. You don't have to do anything. And the reason you're known is because you're talking about spitting on a man's penis before you suck it. Here's the thought. Maybe you should have a sex podcast. You don't even have to be an educator on it. Bring somebody else on who's that, and you can be the face of the operation. Because it's a good fucking idea. It's a smart piece of business advice if she doesn't find that offensive. And clearly, she got famous by going public talking about spitting on penises. Clearly, it won't bother her too much. I mean...
Name 10 books.
Oh, let me tell you something, honey. This is not gonna leave.
You goddamn right. All right, fellas, I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
How dare you?